Hello everyone, Gin here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Advanced Warfare. If I still sound sick, it's because I am, and I'm recording this the same day as Survive Live Episode 2. But the point is, I'm going to be reviewing Advanced Warfare. This is my final review. I've completed the campaign several times, gotten all the way through Survival, and Prestige several times in multiplayer, so I think I'm qualified to talk about this. Next up, I'm going to be reviewing Ghosts in the second half of May. And I'll probably be reviewing DLCs also when I get them. But otherwise, this is my final review for Advanced Warfare. So let's start with the graphics. And on Xbox One and I assume PS4, they're amazing. I only have Xbox One and 360. It was clearly developed for these platforms first, as well as PC. Not PC. But on the current gen consoles, it's amazing looking, especially in campaign for whatever reason. It looks better than in multiplayer, or perhaps people are too busy fighting to notice the graphics in multiplayer, but the point is, it looks good all around. On Xbox 360 or PS3, it doesn't look nearly as good. It looks okay, and it still runs at 60 frames per second, but it looks way worse than the Xbox One version, which actually they both have pre-rendered cutscenes which look just as good as the other versions. But that's about it for the graphics. Let's move on to the campaign. The campaign is a great campaign, much better than Ghosts. Not as good as Black Ops 2 or Call of Duty 4, but for Sledgehammer's first independently developed game, it's a great start. You earn campaign gear for multiplayer as you go through the campaign challenges, and even a special weapon variant, the Moore's Lullaby, which, I'll review that eventually. If you want to get all intel in every level and complete all challenges, because of the kills challenge, you'll probably have to go through it at least twice, and for me I played through it 3 times, although the first one was for fun and the second 2 were for challenges. This was just on 360, mind you. I'm playing it through a 4th time on Xbox One, and I might play through it a 2nd time on Xbox One for Let's Plays. In fact, I probably will, but it has a high amount of replay value, obviously, because of the gear and the gun that you're trying to get as hard as you can. But also it's fun just all around. The exos and unique exo abilities in each level make it really good. The ending is better than the obvious cliffhanger ending in Ghosts, but really, anything is better than that. It still ends on something of a cliffhanger, but not as much as last time. By which I mean Ghosts. The story mode, it takes you to a ton of locations across the globe, including Antarctica, the Middle East in New Baghdad, the Golden Gate Bridge, and a few more, Santorini, Greece, and some more which I can't remember right now. And that provides a ton of locations for multiplayer maps, although they seem to be ignoring that anyway. And just having as much variety, whether or not it ties in with the campaign, which is, I think, a great way to do multiplayer maps. I mean, you don't have to have it tie in with the campaign. It has to be fun and cool to look at. But unfortunately, it never really explains or looks in depth of the future technology, which I found that disappointing, but I guess they had to. They couldn't cram all that into everything, and if they did, it would be several hours longer, which a lot of people wouldn't enjoy, but they could at least talk about some of the major technological innovations in 2054, even in passing. But the world of Advanced Warfare seems to be pretty much the same world as 2014, with a few things changed. No major cultural differences, nothing. I found that odd. Also, Greece has not gone bankrupt. And I'm sorry to any Greek viewers, that it's just Greece is in financial trouble. But the terrorists and the terrorists in the future still use Mi-8 helicopters, which they were using in Call of Duty 4 7 years ago. Going to be 8 by the time Black Ops 3 comes out. And there's actually a plot twist around the midway point in the game, and since it has been around 6 months since Advanced Warfare released, maybe even more, I'm pretty safe to say that Atlas turns out to be the bad guys. No shocker there, but about that plot twist, Atlas is meant to be the bad guy, but there's no real concrete evidence that Atlas is the bad guy, I think. It's the one thing that plot twist is based on is a recording given to you from a dying terrorist, who, obviously, terrorists are trustworthy. Especially ones who hate Atlas. Obviously, an unbiased source for whether or not Atlas is evil. So, yeah, I'm not so sure about the campaign there. Let's get on to survival mode. And I'd say that's okay. It's a step down from Modern Warfare 3's survival mode, but also a step up. Yeah, unfortunately, your cash has been replaced with upgrade points, which I wouldn't call a good improvement at all. Also, there are no armor, buyable things, no allies, and no rocket launchers available. I think, unless they're available with the new demolition class, in which case, never mind. Attachments for weapons are now more diverse. You can have more attachments than you could before, but they're exo survival classes, which they weren't before. And so, until very late in the game, you can't use every gun in the exo armor, which I found disappointing. There is support drops borrowed from Call of Duty Ghosts Safeguard mode, but you only get one care package and it's only a kill streak, not a gun or a perk. But okay, it's a kill streak or a perk, but you don't get a gun. But that's really okay, since you can buy them. And Juggernaut rounds are now Goliath rounds. They seem to be much easier, I guess. And if you could level up, that would be nice, because I'd rather do that and be able to buy the guns later than have to wait for more than half the match to buy a gun I want to buy. Now let's move on to Exo Zombies, but not for very long because I don't have either DLCs. And I think it was a poor move to release Exo Zombies as only a teaser in Exo Survival and no Exo Zombies maps. Let's go next and finally to multiplayer. Multiplayer is good. It's a step up from Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, but it has its own problems, like every game ever. The balancing at the start of multiplayer was not very good. Submachine guns were terrible, except for the KF-5. Honestly, that was probably the only usable submachine gun, but assault rifles were powerful, and especially the Bal 27. If you put a foregrip on it and then used it on Xbox 360, I don't think it actually kicked at all. I'm not exaggerating. It did not appear to have view kick at all. Shotguns were useless, especially the TAC-19, the pump action shotgun, and camos not only took an absurd number of headshots, long shots, hipfire kills, they also reset when you prestiged. And it's been patched several times since release. Submachine guns are now usable, mostly, but the ASM-1 was once the official overpowered submachine gun in multiplayer, and you could say it still is. I think the SN6 needs a buff. Shotguns are now usable. They're not as good as they were in previous Call of Duty games, but they're better. Pistols are not very good still. I say the usable ones are the RW1 and the PDW. The Alice 45 and the MP443 Grach are just not that usable. And by the way, it is pronounced Grach, it's Russian, and yeah, that's really about it. As for kill streaks, they're not very good. I usually run support UAVs. I used to run support turrets, But you can now destroy turrets on a single melee hit, so they're now useless. I think I should probably start running the support care package instead. Or nothing, just support UAVs. As for game modes, I think Drop Zone would have been a nice addition, but maybe that's just an Infinity Ward game mode, I guess. I like Mosh Pit, and it's my most played playlist, but why can't we have a Mercenary Mosh Pit playlist? I'd really like that. I'm sick of playing against clans and parties. Also, I'm getting sick of Uplink on Comeback, and speaking of Uplink, it's pretty good. You do need a good team, though. The random players on your team you get matched with are never very smart. They're idiots. I apologize, random teammates who I've never met and probably won't ever meet. And also, just a random tidbit about multiplayer: don't expect to kill a lot of people by shooting through things. That's just how Advanced Warfare works, I guess. Overall, I'd say Advanced Warfare is good, almost to the point of being great. Multiplayer still needs some reworking. There's the questionable plot twisting campaign. Survival mode is not very good compared to previous versions, and zombies as DLC was a bad idea. But overall, it's a good game. I like it. I like it more than Ghosts. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you later, everyone. Game 453 out.
Load up if you need to.